Hello everybody. Old and new alike, you are welcome. So welcome to Tpull's Corner. This is Travis. And I've been trying to play with the sound a little bit. You'll have to let me know in the comments if my voice is coming through clearly enough now. I usually try and tweak it until I get it just right. And then there's always some software update or my computer's forced to reboot or something like that. So we'll see what happens. This is a new deck. I do have one landfall card in here. As much as I rail against landfall, I did need to have some form of life gain in this deck. And I think I'm going to need a source for black soon too. So now we should already be able to cast whatever we need with the resources we have. That's enchanted, so it doesn't untap. However, I still get the benefit of the landfall, right? And let's bring down Tpull. It's got Ward 2. It doesn't mean they can't get rid of it, but maybe it'll hang around for a while. This lets us dig through the deck a little bit. A zombie deck, you say? Gain our life first. We'll spend... Yeah, let's plot that. Just see what else is under there. Land, okay. And then we get rid of Roaming Throne now. We don't worry about the ward cost because we're not targeting the creature. We target the opponent. Can actually go in and First Blood is ours, basically. Attacking with our little homunculus. And it just comes back. And they had enough to draw 2 cards. Gross. Alright. Well, more land. I guess we bring down the land. Let's equip it on a Tpull. The only thing I have that can attack. And this way we explore, so we get the land right up into our hand. And now we can plot here. And this just gives us options. They're still in their zombie kick. Haste and Ward 1. So now it has Ward 3. And we're back down to 20. What do we want to do about that? 2, 3, 4. I think if we place down the land first, we wouldn't get the life gain. If we put down that creature, then we gain the land. Times 2. We can bring this down for 0 now. And we kill Roaming Throne. Then we attack and explore, and Tpull gets to just get beefed up a little bit. They can see what creature we're going to be able to put down next turn. We've kind of emptied our hand already.
Warrior Queen Necromancer has a nice ring to it.
Are they just going to create some chump blockers? Yeah. This one creature.
Death is such an effective tool.
Ooh. Okay, let's get some life from the life gain there. Then I think we bring this puppy out. Let's attack first. They can see what the next creature is, that's fine. We wanted this to be a 3/3 so it could withstand the zombie. Let's do a chump block to save.
Ugh, I hope you washed your hand. I do quite enjoy necromancy.
Let's see. A creature died, so let's bring this down. And then we can still cast this one. And let's continue to draw. I think that's worth 1 life point at this point. They've got a full hand of cards and 6 energy, so they can do a lot. But if they don't have a full board wipe, they're going to be, they're going to have to do it singles. And that's not going to be enough.
No way but my way.
Okay, we reveal that. We lose 6 points, actually, from that. We can only plot that, right? Let's just destroy this. We paid the 1 ward cost. They do get a card draw out of that.
Ah, time to get my hands dirty.
No. We're going to do that there. This is enough to take out that. Then go here and here.
Fine, I'll leave.
Got him down to 8. And in the meantime, I don't want to plot that. That's an instant. I don't want to do this because then there might be some good cards underneath. So we just want to bring down the version of Dr. Octopus or whatever, right? No, this is Oleg's Mouth to Many Eyes. I have not memorized all of the Spider-Man cards and what they translate to and through the Omen Pass, so there's a lot of legendary creatures. I'm not sure I'm current on who is
Just
who.
in time to save the day.
I have not been studying that. I did have enough time to understand this card when I got it, but I don't know that...
Take a break, will ya?
I forget which legendary spider creature that's supposed to be. In the meantime, we lose a little bit more there. We gain it back with our land draw. Ooh, this is nice. But I don't think we need to worry about anything else because we can just attack. We don't need to worry about the Planeswalker anymore. Some triggers here and there. Consumed by Greed only works against against creatures, not planeswalkers, so something to keep in the back of your mind. And we actually won a battle! Woohoo! Good start to the deck. Oh, I got my chore done for the day too. We might talk about the lawsuit that's out there. That was consuming my feed. But first let's go through the deck tech. This is from the one single Lorwyn pack that I opened. This is kind of a cool card. I have a deck this might slip right into. I may have to do some testing soon. Alright. This deck is actually focused around Darkstar Augur. It's from Bloomburrow. Costs 3. Bat Warlock with Offspring. So if I pay an extra black mana for 4 total, I can get a little baby one. You can see pictured to the right, the token version. That's only 1/1. At the beginning of your upkeep, you reveal the top card of your library, put that card in your hand. You lose life equal to its mana value. So you can see where I've got, there's 3 cards in here that cost 6, and I did that last round where I had to draw it, drew the card, it cost me 6 life. Didn't seem to matter, I still managed to win the game, right? So the deck is kind of designed around that idea. It can get a little interesting if I do pay for the Offspring cost, and I have 2 of these because it means I'm going to reveal the top 2 cards, and then I still get my regular draw. So it gets you 3 cards into your hand each time, if you paid the Offspring cost. Okay, what else do we have to help us? A lot of this is geared around, the rest of the cards are geared around looking at the top of my deck and seeing what's coming my way and seeing if I can maneuver it so that when it's time to draw those cards, those are the lands, and I hit my land drop. So to wit, Glowcap Lantern only costs 1 green, 2 to equip. Equip creature as you may look at the top card of your library anytime. Whenever the creature attacks, it explores. And if it shows a land, then it just draws it into your hand automatically. If it shows a card, then it gives you +1. You can put it into your graveyard, so if I'm low on health and I've got the Augur out, and I just can't afford whatever it's showing me, say it's showing a 6-drop, I could throw it into the graveyard. And then I still get to see the next card that's there as well. So just a little bit of information. I've done another deck recently where we get to dig into, their deck and we get to steal their cards and stuff like that. This is kind of the opposite. I don't consider this evil, so it's not part of the Kaizen Evil playlist, but it is a strategy that I tend to use that very few other people do. Playing, just looking through the the environment of all the cards we have in the current system, in the current environment, and playing these cards that allow us to look at the top of our library for either, information advantage or for a draw card advantage, that sort of thing. This feeds into it. I've got Feed the Swarm, destroy target creature or enchantment. Again, I lose life equal to that permanent's mana value, so it can be a costly spell. 3 of the Eumidian Terrabotanists. There's enough of them and enough land in the deck that I do pretty good with the life gain overall. Scavenging Ooze, I have 2 of these mostly for graveyard hate for the opponents because we do come across a lot of Zombify decks. But for just 1 green, you exile target card from a graveyard. This is from Foundations. It's a reprint, of course. It's a sort of a classic card. But when you exile a creature card, whether it's from your graveyard or your opponent's, you get a +1/+1 counter, plus you gain 1 life, so it's yet another source of life gain for me. I've got 1 copy of Mobile Homestead from Thunder Junction. It's an artifact vehicle, comes down as a 3/3. If I control a mount, it automatically has haste, but whenever the vehicle attacks, you look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you can put it onto the battlefield tapped. So yet another way for me to look at my library, manipulate it a little bit. And notice this is you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. If I'm low on life and I've got 1 or 2 augurs out and I don't want to cause myself to lose any life, I may just leave it right there knowing that the next time I draw it's not going to cost me any life, but I'll for sure know that I'll at least get 1 land drop. Sage of Days, when this creature enters, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 back on top of your library, the rest in the graveyard. Again, designed with Darkstar Augur in mind, and again, mostly to save me on health in case I'm low, and if I get an expensive one, it would kill me. I could choose to make sure that I just draw a land so that there's no life points lost, or if I'm sitting pretty and I get a real banger of a card and I decide I can handle that, I'll put that one on top, go ahead and suck up the life loss, but it'll give me one of those big cards that'll help me win the game. It just depends on the battlefield conditions and how I feel about the state of my life, my health at the time. Fibblethip, Lost on the Range. I'm really starting to like this card. This must be like the 3rd deck I've used this in so far this year. Legendary, well, within the last year. This year's only 1 month old. Legendary Homunculus, 1/1 with Ward 2. You can look at the top card of your library anytime. The top card has plot, so we can just move it over. The one disadvantage is if it's an instant, you kind of lose the instant nature of it, because if it's plotted, you can only cast it as a sorcery. Tribute to Hunger is a removal card. Target opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. We gain life equal to that creature's toughness, so a little bit of life gain. If you count those, that's like 6 cards that have life gain in them. We haven't gotten to Intimidation campaign yet. We've got 3 of the Consumed by Greeds in case they put out some really big creatures. We've got 1 Malicious Eclipse in case they put out a bunch of 1/1s or 2/2s. We can exile all of those in 1 shot. Grasping Longneck. When the creature dies, you gain 2 life. So you get a 4/2 for 3, and it has reach. I think that's a good deal. Intimidation campaign. 4 of these. Enchantment. When it enters, each opponent loses 1 life. You gain 1 life, and you draw a card. Whenever you commit a crime, you return the enchantment to its owner's hand. So this is from Thunder Junction. Crime counts as targeting the opponents. Anything they control. So if you can target a land or an enchantment, a creature, including anything targeting their graveyard, also counts as a crime. I've made a deck before centered around just this card, built around this card, and it was very effective. So you can see I've got a life gain really built in heavily by this point into the deck, and we're not done. We've also got 1 copy of X-Death Void Warlock. And this is from Final Fantasy. Legendary Spirit Warlock with 3/3. When X-Death enters, you gain 3 life. Then at the beginning of your end step, if there are 6 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, you transform X-Death. And suddenly, yes, Trample, you can see pictured to the right there, Neo X-Death, Dimension's End! He turns out to be this just massive spirit avatar. And X-Death's power is equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard, so who knows how much that could be. But seeing as there are 6 or more to transform it, assuming the opponent doesn't do anything to erase or exile your graveyard, you're going to have at least a 6/3, and all you had to do was get to your end step to do the transformation. I gotta say, I do like the artwork. Let's see. Next, Glarb, Calamity's Augur. This is from Bloomborough. Mythic rare creature. Legendary Frog Wizard Noble. How can you not like that? It's a 2/4 with Death Touch. You can look at the top card of your library anytime. So very fitting with the theme here. You can play lands and cast spells with mana value 4 or greater from the top of your library. That's kind of cool. Kind of fits along nicely with Vizier the Menagerie. This is from Foundation. Snake Cleric. You can also look at the top card of your library anytime. You can cast creature spells from the top of your library. You can also spend mana of any type, so we don't need to worry about having 3 different colors in the deck anymore. Moving back up, we've got 2 more removal cards with the end. So you can see we've got, if you can't Malicious Eclipse, the 3 Consumed by Greed to the Tribute to Hunger, and then Feed the Swarm and the 2 of the ends. That only puts us at 8 removal cards, so we're still kind of below the average. And that might give us problems from time to time, depending on how creature heavy they are against us. Case of the Locked Hothouse. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. That's really cool when you have the Terra Botanist out and you're gaining life from that. That could come in handy. Once you control 7 or more lands, it's solved, and the next turn you can, hey, look at that, you can look at the top card of your library anytime. You can play lands and cast creatures and enchantment spells now from the top of your library. So not only are we looking at the top of our library, all of these cards have some different way of manipulating things in terms of playing lands, getting creatures out of a certain size, getting all creatures out, getting enchantment spells out. If we can manipulate things properly, what we want to do ideally is we want to maneuver the lands so that we draw the lands with the auger, get those for free, and just an extra land draw for free, but also for free in the sense that it won't cost us any life. And then we can get the other spells that we need, so we're getting all this extra card draw, and the card draw is really going to win us the battle. Let's see, Wardens of the Cycle. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died, you can either gain 2 life, again another source of life gain, or a way to draw cards again. Draw a card and lose 1 life. Alex, Mouth to Many Eyes. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. Sing along if that sounds familiar at this point in the deck. You may cast spider spells and non-creature spells from the top of your library. So yet another different way, non-creature spells that we could do it here. Whenever you attack, you may mill a card. And again, when are you going to mill? If you want to, get a land, if you got too many lands, if you want to, make sure that you don't lose any life due to Darkstar Augur. But all of these things allow us to just manipulate things so that we can really determine how much pain are we willing to take from this draw mechanic. And have we put enough of these things in so that we can see what's coming our way from out of our library and manipulate them enough so that the drawback of this card does not hurt us too much, but that we can still get the advantage of drawing a lot of extra cards if we get it out. Primeval Bounty. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you get a 3/3 green beast creature token. You see a picture there to the right. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, 3+1/+1 counters on target creature you control. And Landfall, whenever land you control enters, gain 3 life. And then finally, Spinewood's Armadillo, 7/7 with Reach and Ward 3, but also Emergency Life Gain. For 2, you can discard the card, get a basic land or desert card, and shuffle, and then you gain 3 life. So tons of life gain in the deck, tons of looking at the top card of my library, tons of being able to move those or cast those and shift those around, all centered around the initial concept of, I'm going to be drawing a lot of extra cards. These could cost me a lot of life. How can I mitigate some of that so that this turns out to be a more useful card rather than just a gamble? What do we got here in our mana base? Anything worth talking about? We've got 4 Opulent Palaces for the 3 colors. We've got 1 Adventure's Inns for 1 more source of gaining 2 life points. And of course 1 Demolition Field to take care of their specialty lands. That's the idea of the deck. It's not the winningest deck in the world, but depending on how Arena's feeling for the day, I do pretty well with it so far. It's not a deck that you can play distracted, so I'm not sure if I really want to talk about the lawsuit with this particular deck. I might save that for another time. I'll give you the the Cliff Notes. It's not really Hasbro that's being sued, and in the court case, it's probably not going to go anywhere. I may do. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a gameplay video where I'm still playing a deck but get into the details of the lawsuit, or if you have any interest in hearing about the lawsuit. I know my feed was completely submerged. I stopped to, just take a lunch break, and I had like 6 videos lined up on the right-hand side. They were all about this. Oh, how Wizards is getting sued, and all these people were cheering basically about it and thought that it was going to be a grand old time. And eventually I found a couple people who seemed to understand what was really going on. I went and actually read the lawsuit. But I don't think I'm going to get distracted by that conversation here, because depending if I draw the augur, especially, then I really have to be paying attention to the deck. This is a thinking person's deck. It's not something you can just go on autopilot necessarily. And airbend decks can be rather annoying, actually. Let's bring this down, I guess. We'll bring down the one that gives us life. See if they airbend us out of the way again. It's going to be an heir apparent deck? I don't think I have anything to deal with this enchantment is the problem. And I don't really have a way right now to get rid of the quest caller, right? Just one of the more powerful rabbits. Do we do that? I think we just do this for now. Let's get a peek at stuff that's coming our way. You see they got their Soulstone Sanctuary back there, ready to turn into a 3/3. Two of them out on the field already. And if they feel comfortable, they could start rushing in now. And when they airbend, they can do that with the creature they control, which gives them all of these extra tokens. So with me not being able to take out this enchantment and them getting out such a cheap enchantment with so much extra value when you combine it with the heir apparent, we could be in a lot of trouble very soon. So that may have been a mistake. I probably should have used Consumed by Greed earlier. I guess we're doing it now. They'll lose one rabbit. And I don't know that that matters anymore. They've built up so much. I already need my my small board wipe. Look how quick that was, how easy that was to combine with heir apparent to get that up to 9. I could save a little bit of trouble possibly with a copy of the end and get rid of all the rest of the heir apparents, but they can still airbend the ones they have. And they can just sort of wait until they have a critical mass and hit me all at once. Two Glarbs in a row, that's not the best. Let's see if we can get this down and keep it this round. A little bit more life gain. Not a terrible amount. Just quit. So they get to do damage every time, and they get to scry every time. They've got a nice little racket going here, don't they? Oh, there's my end. Let's put that on our Terrabotanist. And rabbit goes away. We'll go ahead and pump this up. Bring these back up into our hands. And that's kind of gross. They have Fumigate? They have Raise the Past, so it's good that we're exiling all of these hairs. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait for the computer to catch up with me. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's actually not a lot overall. And then we got a bunch of mythic rare stuff coming at us. And then we get the one in the graveyard. And that should be 11, right? Alright, we got rid of 11 of those. Now they can go ahead and airbend that all they want. They're not getting any more tokens. If they want to start bum rushing us, they can get our life total down. And then they could still just fumigate and destroy everybody. Or if they're tired and want to start over, because these are both too powerful, they could just fumigate now. They're going to keep going with the creatures. That does give me damage and allow them to scry, but I've got my engine too. Between Primeval Bounty and the 2 Intimidation campaigns, and my ability to lay down lands and gain life from it, we should be able to keep up. And here we go. I think we get rid of their biggest stuff and they're gonna board wipe. I'm guessing. Maybe they feel they've got time to do more damage. Because they've... No, let's return all. Okay, so they just bring them back. At least we don't have to deal with any more rabbits. Who do you airbend at this point? Just one of these two so you can get a life gain? Life gain and a damage? Down to 11. That's gotta hurt. Alright. Yeah, I think we bring this down. Bring that down. Still only 2 creatures, though. I think they've got lethal, don't they? I don't have lethal if I attack. What did they... Wait! Let's look at the math. If they tried to attack in with... And I blocked these 2 and killed them. There's 14 points of damage there. 15... Okay, so that's 16. They could have got me down by 1. Creatures that you control the chosen type. Oh, they didn't... They had enough for Fumigate. I guess they would have needed to wait and draw and see if they got one more land to do this. But they could have done the +2 on all of these rabbits. If they just drawn a land the next turn, they could have won. They weren't even willing to stop and wait and see. And we weren't getting the board wipe that I needed to kill all the minor rabbits at once. I'm not sure why they left so quickly on that one. I mean, because I was still pinned to defense. I couldn't attack no matter how big those creatures were. And they had a board wipe in case the creatures got too out of control. Maybe they just felt losing 11 of the hairs was just too much, too gone. That there wasn't enough left in their deck to tilt the balance. I'm guessing. I would have stayed. If I were them, I would have definitely stayed. Anyway, as I said, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know if you want to see or hear my take about the lawsuit going on, and if you want me to play a game while I do it, or do a kind of just a commentary video. I haven't done one of those in a while, but I'm definitely willing to. I just want to do it if my particular audience, you guys are used to me playing games, right? You're used to seeing the gameplay, so I kind of want to always ask you instead of, you know, wasting everybody's time with me putting together a diatribe on something that you don't want to sit still for. If you just want to see the play, then I'd do that. But it is something that I have a little bit of knowledge about. Okay, all the Lorwyn cards, huh? Mud Button Curse Tosser. When it dies, destroy creature with power 2 or less. I think it's okay to trade those right now. Alright, this could be interesting. We get the Darkstar Augur out right away. So if we're not drawing lands, we're going to lose a lot of life. If they don't like the card and they have removal, they might just kill it anyway right away. Land. It's good. To solve this, we need to control 7 lands, so we got 5 of the 7 we need. Roads. Since other goblins you control have haste, this is a new Lorwyn Goblin Berserker. You have to behold a goblin and exile it. And they put Blight 2 on the Augur. Alright, let's take it. That seems like way overpowered. For only 4 they get a 5/5. That usually only happens in green. And they can just pay as much life as they want to get rid of our creatures. That is so messed up. And all of this, and I don't have any blue this whole time? That is messed up. They just got rid of my creature anyway. I should have blocked with it. I don't think my Glarb's going to do much against that creature. I need a way to remove it. Which now, thanks to Hexing Squelcher, I gotta pay 2 life for that. And every goblin has haste. This is starting to look like historic between the heavy and having Franco back in the environment. All made possible by the new Lorwyn cards. This is the one that everybody's talking about that's busted. And just not enough for me to do here to really stop anything. I managed to solve that with only 5 lands. They got 9 creatures out, and haste kills me. They kind of built this up over time. They got the nice goblin in Aether Drift, then they introduced Kranko back in with Foundations, and now we've got Champion of the Weird with Lorwyn, along with Hexing Squelcher. And you still got so many goblins now. Minus 25. They really did want to make you interested in the new expansion, didn't they? This is what happens when the new expansion comes out. Is they introduce all the neat new flashy cards with all the extra powers that didn't used to be around, and all the synergies that didn't exist 2 seconds ago, and your deck suddenly is just toast. And you start to feel like the poor boy on the corner who can't afford all the new cards. some normal stuff here. By normal, I just mean non-lower one. Let's see. If I do this now, I get that life gain myself to start with. It doesn't do any good to run into the angel, but if they put down another creature and gain life, then Pride Mate's going to pump up, and that's who I want to get rid of with Consumed by Greed anyway. They don't attack in with the Pride Mate. I wonder if I have time to do some of this other stuff. This is kind of a little greedy. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I might have to chump block. Yeah. That is a lot of creatures. Okay, so we put this down. I don't have time to do everything. Don't have enough energy to do everything. They got so many creatures down so quickly. We just get rid of 2 of the Vampire Nighthawks. And then I've got a chump block again, unless... Can that take me out? Yeah, they might just use that on me. We've got to fake your own death. They're saving that for something better. And now that I know they have a fake your own death, I've kind of got a bigger problem now, don't I? They can just return it. Of course. Right on time. Alright, we're chump blocking there. I don't think it's any good to bring anything back. Can I do both of these? 1, 2... Yeah, so I can bring this down now. Go ahead and get the life gain in the card draw. And then go ahead and make them sacrifice a creature. And then return this back to my hand, so if I get the chance I can use it again. And they were all tapped out from bringing out the Dawnbreaker, so I didn't have to worry about fake them to death. Unfortunately, they've had enough of me. And I don't think I have any, I didn't really have a board wipe, so... Yeah, lands. And lands. All of my extra card draw, and all it did was flood me out. In the meantime, my opponent didn't miss the land drop that entire time. As much as they needed the lands, they got them when they needed them. And this is the case where I only have those 8 removal cards, so I think this deck doesn't even have the 24 lands, really. I think they skimp on the lands because they have so much card draw. But we still got our chore done for the day. Let me try one more. As is often the case when I do these off-meta decks that are a little bit strange, examining these more rarely used cards. You don't see Glarb every day. You don't see Darkstar Augur every day. You don't even see Grasping Longneck that much. We're not necessarily optimized against all of the big meta. Still basically life gain deck, right? Let's put somebody on the ground to block, see if that works. If they do have a removal spell, I've got a backup there. Missed a land drop. And all their creatures become indestructible. They don't attack in. Interesting. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still not getting my land. Trying to draw in to get a little bit of land. There we go. Yeah, we'll put down the use, I guess. Gross. That's gonna really slow me down. Oh, that's on each creature? Dang. They don't like my intimidation campaign. Gee whiz. That's just... Arena? How come you let them do everything perfectly? I can have them sacrifice a creature, which would just be the 2/3. Ugh. And I still... I've got a 6-cost spell I could cast if I had the land. I don't have the land. I guess we're letting stuff through. That's the only copy they had. And play a tap land. And I guess we could surveil too, right? Put this on top so I get land and I get the life gain. Is there... I can't really get a creature though, right? I need to be able to pump up my Scavenging Ooze. We'll block one there. Is that enough to save me? No. It comes in tapped, which is the biggest problem I'm going to have here. That's going to be a problem. Do that again. Ugh. Down to 4. Sacrifice something. Yeah, lose your 1/1. That's great. No, I don't think land's going to help me right now, and I think that's too little too late. And they just give me land anyway. Well, there's a life gain at least. That is too late to help. Everything seems too late to help. I mean, I guess we could do that. And then we can get rid of a creature finally and get that up to 3/3. None of what I really wanted. Now I gotta block with everybody no matter what. Well, let's think about this. Oh, they're going after it. Yeah? Oh, I was gonna say. Okay, we can block you. We can die to you, I guess. We can kill you. Life gain. More life gain for them. Keep you. What else do we want to do? I think we're chump blocking no matter what, right? 3, 4. Yeah, I think we've done enough. Let's gain 2 life. Think about it. Okay, we'll chump block there. Let the other 3. And this one. And that one. And 3, 4, 5, 6. And this one. No attacks. Gain 2 life. 2 tapped creatures. 4 defenders versus their 3 attackers. And they drew land. I feel better. Slightly. That's a lot of life gain they got. But now I have 2 creatures with reach, so even if they have more banishing lights, they can only get them 1 at a time. Okay, we lose 3 life there. Hmm. We'll just pass the turn. We're building up an army. Oh. They don't want our army. Okay, I guess we're starting all over again. Here, let's do this. You sacrifice... Oh, we can't. You have hexproof. We need to get rid of your creature another way. Alright, we're going to take a risk here. Because this can cost us some life. But we already know, we can see the land is there the first turn. So we're going to get a free land draw out of the Augur. And we're kind of hoping that they don't have another Beyond the Quiet anytime soon, because we managed to get an army of half a dozen creatures out after their board wipe. That's not too shabby. Let's get some life gain going. Let's cast some stuff. Oh, that's plotted from Tpull. I've got to pay attention here because we've got a lot of my creatures that could allow me to do other stuff have been exiled. So I just see that I can bring it out, but I've got to keep in mind, is that something I can cast as a spell, or is it Tpull and I'm plotting it? Okay, I just say we attack with everybody at this point. That's 11 points. They're at 51 life, so they've got a little bit of a clock. They've got, what, 5 turns? We're going to lure them into a false sense of confidence here. We're going to let them just block with a Crystal Barricade a time or two, and then when they block for 2 points, we'll kill the barricade with our Malicious Eclipse. I just kind of want to hold on to Tpull if I can. What was this? Oh, it's a new card. Morning Tide's Light. Return... Prevent all damage. So they get rid of all my token creatures. Free life gain out of that too. Okay, and then what happens? Until your next turn, prevent all damage. Not a bad spell. Alright. Keep Tpull. Bring down another creature. Oh, that's plotting again. Never mind. That's fine, though, because I wanted to get to a place where I see land. I don't think I use Sage of Days here. It's okay for me to attack, right? Because they're not going to get any damage at all for them, right? But you done messed up. Now you don't have hexproof. This is how the deck's supposed to work. Final score 43. They have 23 more life points than they started out with. They didn't have any creatures, so Moogle's Valor was a wasted spell. You need a creature to create a Moogie, or Moogle. But this was working like a charm. I would cast until I hit the lands that I couldn't play anymore, and then the next turn I would just automatically get a land drop, add to my massive energy total. I was pretty much guaranteed that I could cast and go through, you know, Mana Sink, the Scavenging Ooze. I was getting to a point where I could pay for anything and everything that I needed at any point in time that I needed it. So it looked really tough. Back when they had 6 lands and they had just enough energy to cast 3 spells in a row and use up everything in their hand, I thought I was toast. Maybe they should have tried attacking more aggressively. But if they did, I would have changed my reaction, what I would have done in turn. I think that's a good place to leave it. mostly because dinner's calling me. But let's pull this up one last time. Augurs. Built around Darkstar Augur. Getting all of these different cards that allow us to look at the top of the library is just... It's a normal tactic that I like to use. I usually make 1 or 2 decks every year based on that theme. In this case, I was building around the Augur, and then I thought of that ability and thought it just was like a marriage made in heaven. And you can see when it clicks, when you can get it going the way that you want it to be, and you can sort of control the way that the land drops come up so that it doesn't cost you any life points. That combined with the plethora of life gain that I have in this deck that all fit within the right color scheme. The deck came together really well. I have fun using this. It's a kind of a different way to play the game than the normal way, because you do have to stop and consider, do I have an Augur out? Is this going to cost me life? Do I need to throw some cards in the graveyard instead? Do I need to, if I can put that land onto the battlefield tapped, maybe I just leave it right where it is so I can draw it the right way next time? I think we could get tripped up by a mill deck, but for some reason Arena hasn't had any mill decks up against me with this deck. So let me know if you guys take this out for a spin. Again, if you, I'm interested in talking about the lawsuit. If I do, let me know, should I go ahead and just try and play some games with the deck while I'm doing it, even though I might be stuttering a lot and losing my train of thought? Or should I just do a talk piece where I just, we have like, I don't know what I'd have on the screen for you. I might pull up the court case and show you web pages and statistics and stock prices and stuff like that. But again, I only want to do it if you guys actually have an interest in it yourself. If not, I'm not going to just talk out into the ether about it and not have you guys tune in. Okay, so we're here for you. I'm playing the game no matter what, so I'm going to be doing gameplay normally, and that's what I normally record. If you want to see commentary from me about other stuff going on, I do need your input, so leave me a comment and let me know if you want me to do that. Like I said, I will do it if there's enough of you that want me to. But if nobody else is going to tune in, it would just be me talking to nobody. I don't want to waste my time that way. So I definitely need your input and guidance before I commit to doing that. So please let me know. And with that, you all have a good evening. We'll catch you next time. Thanks.